watching the Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. Tyler, producer Liam, and Caroline here with you, and this is game 80. Tyler, we've made it.
Yeah, things are coming to a close here. The end of the year felt like it was moving at a bit of a snail's pace. After 56 games last year, this 82 one has felt like an absolute marathon, but we're almost at the end, and it's almost time for the fun stuff.
Well, the boys got the big job done, right? We've made the playoffs. We're second in the division. I feel like there must have been a lot of partying after clinching that playoff spot.
And it happened in such a good way, right? Friday night, city's abuzz against a good team.
I know, so that's what I'm like. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, the energy's not as stressed. I'm a little more chill. There must have been some partying going on. I'm sure not just for the Oilers themselves, but Oilers Nation as a whole. And I know that we just lost to Columbus 5-2, but honest to God, I'm not stressed about it. And I wonder if that's because we're in a pretty solid position right now.
Yeah, we're coming down the stretch here, 3 games to go. If Edmonton wins 1, or if LA loses 1 of their final 2, Edmonton's going to lock up home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. And considering the opponents Edmonton has, with San Jose and Vancouver coming up before the end of the year, LA with 2 games, they've been up and down in the second half of the season. It feels like second place is already locked up, which means it feels like these final 3 games are, for lack of a better term, pointless.
Goals scored by Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane. Kane keeping the streak going after a hattie against the Avs. He got a goal against the Blue Jackets. He now has 8 points in his last 5 games. And talk about a guy being on fire and maybe even peaking at the right time for this Oilers team.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just looking at where he sits right now in the NHL. This is a guy who's getting close to, he's tied for 106th in the NHL in goals. Okay, he's only played 40 games compared to everyone else around him is in the 70s, a few in the 80s. It's been unreal to see his production and the way he's been able to just slide into this lineup and score at an insane clip, and doing it, whether it's Connor McDavid assisting on the goal, whether it's Kane kind of doing the work himself. He's a legitimate play driver. So yeah, Kane scoring great. Draisaitl maybe inching closer to Austin Matthews.
I know. Well, this is perfect because in my notes here, I have 55 goals right now for Leon Draisaitl. Austin Matthews with...
Oh, hey, Hot Dog.
Oh, my God. Hot Dog.
We have a special visitor.
Baby. This has got to be... I'm sorry, guys. We're going to take a break. You're still live with us.
No, we're not.
Pause on the Oilers chat.
Oh, Hot Dog. Where are you going?
Everything's okay. All right. There was a dog. Now the dog's outside. It's all good. Hot Dog, I will report live that Hot Dog has an Oilers jersey on right now. And he is freaking adorable. Jay, bring him on in. Show everyone.
Hey, Hot Dog. It's okay.
Game day, folks.
Oh, my God. Hi, baby.
Oh.
I just love you.
Hot Dog's picks?
Hi. Yes, Hot Dog, what's your pick? He says Kane's going to score another goal tonight. I'm absolutely in the moment with Hot Dog right now. I know I sound like a crazy lunatic.
Is this a homemade Oilers jersey?
No. Well, it's aftermarket modifications.
Aftermarket modifications.
He's a long dog.
He is.
Oh, my God. Look at his paws.
So cute.
Okay. All right, yes. Okay, so
Back to
Leon
the pregame
Draisaitl, 55 goals on the season. Austin Matthews, 58. The Leafs have 2 more games. The Oilers have 3 more games. It is absolutely possible for Leon Draisaitl to catch Austin Matthews in this race for the Rocket Richard. And I'm a little nervous about it because I'm going to be very, very vulnerable and transparent and not lie to you, Oilers fan. I'd love for Austin Matthews to win that, and I think that it's getting really close. Something crazy could really happen here.
Yeah, I've said this before, too. This is a weird spot for our pregame show because I put money on Austin Matthews to lead the league in goals at the beginning of the season. So I'm sitting here, and I'm also a little bit nervous that Leon's going to stay hot and catch him, but he's fully capable of it. He needs 3 goals in his last 3 games. Draisaitl's done that before. This guy scores 3 in 1 game sometimes, right? And the Oilers have a pretty easy matchup coming up Thursday against San Jose as well. And there's a part of me that also thinks that could maybe be Draisaitl's last game of the season if the Oilers decide to rest some regulars in the season finale. So it will be very interesting to watch that race. Matthews does get a matchup against the Red Wings tonight. They're not good. So if Matthews can score 1 or 2, it's probably out of reach for Leon, but it's not out of reach yet.
I know, it's so crazy. All right, Mikko Koskinen, 26 saves on the night. Sorry, my brain's still with Hot Dog in the other room. But let's talk about it because this was Mikko's first game since April 12th. Not too long ago, but still very necessary for him to get that ice time. Tyler, what did you think about Koskinen's performance?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. Far from a perfect performance, I suppose. But at the end of the day, he gave up 4 goals. He probably wants 1 of them back. I just thought the team in front of him wasn't very good, and that game should have never gotten to a point where the Jackets had a position to take a lead. I mean, Edmonton had so many chances in the first half of that hockey game, and they just didn't bear down and finish them. So that's where I go with that. I'm not blaming that loss on Mikko at all. I'm looking at the team in front of Mikko and saying you were going up against a Columbus team that, when they're healthy, they're an average group, but they were missing Boone Jenner, Zach Werenski, Patrick Laine, a bunch of key players. I look at that and go, that was not a good Columbus roster. You should have put the pedal to the floor and beaten them, and the Oilers just didn't.
Let's get to Joe's question in the Facebook chat. And everybody, come on, chime in. This is the quietest Facebook chat I've seen maybe all season. But Joe's asking, what is Nurse's timeline?
That's a great question. We really don't have the answer to that quite yet. It'll be interesting to see sort of, if he's on the ice and practicing, and there starts to be some buzz about it in the next sort of week here. But my thinking would be they're being extra safe with him. I don't think he'll miss game 1 of the playoffs, although we haven't heard that yet. I just think with a week to go in the regular season, he's a guy who's battled a few injuries. You keep him out for a little bit. You make sure he's 100%. Yeah. You just don't risk it with Darnell Nurse.
All right. What's left to say about this team right now? I mean, I feel like my energy is different. We know we've made the playoffs. Yeah. I feel like we are peaking at the right time going into the playoffs. I think that the Oilers still have another level of hockey that they can achieve come playoff time. But right now, honestly, I chalk this Columbus game up to maybe the boys were tired. Maybe they were celebrating a little too hard. They're humans too at the end of the day. And I honest to God, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, someone tweeted this to me actually, and they were like, maybe that could be a little bit of a wake-up call for the Oilers, right? You go in against a team that you think you're just going to steamroll because you just walked all over the best team in the Western Conference on Friday, and you clinched, you're feeling good. Week to the playoffs, you look ahead of it, and then you get humbled a little bit. And I think it'll be interesting to see. The Oilers have bounced back well under Jay Woodcroft a lot.
Yes.
And you're coming off a game where you didn't play well. So are you going to be able to bounce back and kind of reset your focus and go, okay, we got shut down. We got beat by a bad team earlier this week. Let's bounce back now against a playoff team and once again send the message that you don't want to play the Edmonton Oilers in round 1 of the playoffs.
Love it. All right, let's move on to our opposition report presented by Yeg Burger. 5 p.m. Puck drop today, Tyler. That's your ideal night.
Love it.
The boys are in Pittsburgh taking on a top 3 team in the Metro Division. Penguins are 45, 24, and 11, and 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10 games, coming off of a 4-1 loss to the Flyers. But honestly, Tyler, no intro necessary to who their superstars are. We all know the big guns on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just a game that exactly like what you were saying. If they were humbled against the Blue Jackets, they kind of have to show up tonight against the Pens.
Absolutely. We got the head-to-head here between Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid, and you can see it since McDavid came into the league. 3, 5, and 3. That's the Oilers' record against the Pittsburgh Penguins. McDavid, 14 points in 9 games. Crosby, just 7 in 10 games since McDavid came into the NHL. And Crosby, all-time against the Oilers, does have 20 points in 18 games. The last time these two teams met back in December, it was December 1st. Edmonton won 5-2. Edmonton didn't have Nurse, didn't have Keith, didn't have Ceci in that game. They were missing half of their blue line. Pittsburgh didn't have Evgeny Malkin in that game either, though. Edmonton found a way to win. Zach Hyman scored a pair of goals. This is a Penguins team, and it's interesting, actually, when you go back to that December 1st game. Edmonton wins. That win put them first in the NHL. And then what happened after that? They absolutely nosedived, right? The next 2 months were not good. And now it's a bit of a different situation here because since March 1st, the Oilers are a top 5 team in the NHL. Since March 1st, Edmonton 712 win percentage, tied for 5th. Pittsburgh Penguins, they have a 540 win percentage. That's 18th in the NHL. These two teams have really just been like crisscrossing in terms of their vibes and the way they're playing all year. And Pittsburgh right now not playing great hockey. And a month ago, it probably seemed impossible that Washington would catch them for third spot in the division. But if Pittsburgh loses tonight and Washington wins, or if Washington just wins their game in hand over Pittsburgh's getting knocked down to that 8 seed in the East, and they'd have to play Florida in round 1. So Pittsburgh 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10, not good. They're missing Tristan Jarry, not good. But you can't take them lightly because they have a lot to play for. They have more to play for right now than the Edmonton Oilers.
They're going to come out blazing tonight. Let's get into the lines for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, let's dig into what they'll be rolling out tonight. I mentioned it. They're getting Malkin back, but their top line, they've kept this trio together for a bit now. It's Sidney Crosby with Jake Gensel and Brian Rust. Jake Gensel, 5 goals in his last 5 games. Evgeny Malkin on the second line with Brock McGinn and Ricard Raquel. That's my boy. Jeff Carter with Jason Zucker and Kasperi Kapanen. Teddy Bluger with Danton Heinen and Evan Evan Rodriguez. Been a real up and down season for Evan Rodriguez specifically. Just 1 goal in his last 10 games on the year, though he does have 18. The D pairings for the Penguins are Dumoulin with Letang, Matheson with Chad Ruhwedel, Marcus Pettersson with John Marino. The injuries for the Penguins, no Nathan Beaulieu, and no Tristan Jarry, which means it will be Casey DeSmith getting the start for the Penguins. A few games ago, this guy made 52 saves in a shutout performance against the Boston Bruins. That's the most saves in a shutout that any goalie has had this season. He's only allowed 10 goals in his last 5 games, so he hasn't had a great year, but he's been red hot as of late.
And how about for our Edmonton Oilers? Do we have any changes in the lines?
Don't believe we are going to get any changes for the Edmonton Oilers. Jesse Puljujarvi not on the road trip, not ready to go. Jay Woodcroft did say that they hope he can get back into the lineup for the end of the regular season and they can get him back in game action. But we're going McDavid, Kane, Yamo, Draisaitl, McLeod, Zach Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Fogle, and Derek Ryan. Devin Shore, Derek Brassard, Zach Cassian is the 4th line for the Oilers. D pairings with Nurse out. Russell slots in next to Ceci once again. Kulak with Barry. Keith with Bouchard are the 3 pairings for Edmonton. And Mike Smith is going to be back between the pipes. So it is Casey DeSmith against Mike Smith. And Mike Smith has been the man as of late. That's a nice little Gene Principe play by me.
I was about to say, you're learning really well.
7 goals against in his last 5 games, 5 straight wins for Mike Smith. The heater goes back longer than that as well. This guy has won 8 straight starts. It's been an unreal run for Mike Smith, and the Oilers will probably need him to be pretty sharp here again tonight. Like, he gave up 3 goals against Colorado, and he still played good, 919 save percentage. That was the first time all month he's given up more than 2 goals. Unreal.
Tyler, what's going on in your chat?
Over in my chat, last time the Oilers played the Penguins, Hammer says that was the game where Hyman's Hattie goal got called back. And he is correct with that. It definitely did.
Been his first career hat trick.
A little bit of talk about the Hart Trophy as well. Douster says Hart Trophy favorite, McDiesel, Shesterkin, and Yossi. I don't mind those 3. I think Matthews is going to be in the mix. Johnny Hockey's probably going to be in the mix as well. Genesis says he's guessing Yossi, but McDavid should win it. I don't think Yossi's going to be in there. I really do think it's going to be a Canadian team forward. I think it's going to be Gaudreau, Matthews, or McDavid winning the Hart Trophy this year.
Well, we will see. Right now, bet of the game presented by PointsBet. Where are you putting your money?
Bet of the game. It's a bit of an interesting spot here as we look at the line. Edmonton, they are road dogs, so I don't want to freak out hot dog here, but we should have gotten hot dog in as the road dog.
So
but yeah, Edmonton road dogs coming in at plus 125 on the money line. If you like the Oilers in regulation, plus 170. If you like the Oilers to flip the puck line around, it's paying out about plus 210. So some decent spots here if you think the Oilers can bounce back and get a victory tonight. Player goals. We talked about Leon Draisaitl. If you like Draisaitl to find the back of the net tonight, it is paying out. Where is that? I just lost it. Anyways, it's not up.
How about Kane?
I just lost it. They're all gone. I can't see any of them.
Okay.
I'm sure he's around even money, plus 110, something like that. Liam, do you have any sort of odds on who can score tonight over at your end?
I've got him over here.
Draisaitl
is plus 110.
Nailed
David
it.
plus 130. Evander Kane plus 155.
Ooh, I
Those-
take Kane.
Those Kane odds have been plummeting, though. Like, you were getting him at plus 190, plus 200 at points early on when he was with the Edmonton Oilers. And obviously that winning streak is the sportsbooks are covering up for that a little bit here. I like maybe a little Kyler Yamamoto action. What are we getting on that, Liam?
Plus 300 on Yamamoto.
Wow, okay.
Plus
I don't mind.
1,800 to score the first goal.
That's the bearded Brad specialist taking Yamamoto to score. He's been my boy recently. I've been betting on him a lot. Maybe a couple shot props as well. McDavid's been hitting it pretty consistently. Evan Bouchard's been hitting it consistently as well. So if you have shot props available to you, Bouchard may be worth a look again here tonight against Pittsburgh.
All right, everybody. 5 p.m. puck drop. That's almost basically 4 hours away.
Yep.
Grab your dinner, grab your drinks, get ready, get home. A hard day of work. You can enjoy watching the Oilers play. We're obviously going to be on Twitter where we like to be during game days.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back here on Thursday, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
bearded
gosh,
Brad.
we're almost done in
I
the
know, we're
regular
almost done.
season. It's crazy.
Like it is, today's Tuesday. So at the latest, a week from now, because their playoff series against likely the Kings is starting on Monday or Tuesday next week. So we're 6 or 7 days away from the start of the playoffs. The out-of-town scoreboard tonight, by the way, also very interesting in the NHL. Like every game has playoff implications or seeding implications. Toronto can all but wrap up the second seed in their division if they beat Detroit. Boston's trying to track down Tampa Bay. They're playing Florida. Tampa's trying to take a hold on third place in that division. They're playing Columbus. Out west, big one. Vegas versus Dallas tonight. That is basically a play-in game for the playoffs. Vegas right now, same amount of games played as Dallas, and they're 3 points back. So after tonight, if Vegas wins, they'll each have 2 games remaining, and Vegas will be just 1 point back of the Dallas Stars for the final wild card spot. There is a part of me, I love chaos. I like the story of Dallas getting in. I love the story of Vegas missing. But there's another part of me that is like, oh, a Vegas-Colorado round 1 would be absolutely fantastic and chaotic, and I think I would be all over it. But that's a big one tonight between Vegas and Dallas. Calgary's also playing Nashville tonight. Round 1 playoff preview potentially between those 2 teams. So lots going on tonight in the NHL.
So exciting. All right, everyone. This has been your Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. We only have a few of these left, so please join in with us every single game day at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll see you next game.